So then you're about 10 years old, I think, by the maths, and all of a sudden your brother turns up on television as Goldust.
Oh, God, yeah.
Can we give a hand for Goldust, ladies
Yeah. Okay, that's too big of a hand. Thank you.
One of the best WWF characters, and he was very ahead of his... Because I remember for me personally, I stopped watching WWF at the start of 95, and I started again at the end.
Why did you stop, Kenny?
Because King Mabel was on top.
Whoa. So far you've thrown shade at Mabel and Sandow.
Well, one's dead, so I mean, it's, the other one's... I just need to deal with one now.
Sandow's pissed.
It wasn't me! I loved Men on a Mission, to be fair. But so I remember getting this magazine and I saw Goldust, and I had no idea. I mean, because a lot of people in here are probably the same age. You see Goldust for the first time, and you're just like, what is that? Like, what's going on? Because you don't know. And he was so good at being the way he was at that time.
Yeah.
Talk through a little bit about how you found out he was going to be doing it and your reaction when you saw it for the first time.
So, right when he went to do the first couple teasers, like him in front of the Hollywood sign with like the top hat, and right when that happened, him and my dad stopped speaking, and subsequently he stopped speaking to like kind of our whole family unit. So we missed, there was even a party at my oldest sister's house where he had like the VHS tape, he showed the first one, and everyone was like supportive, but like, and I remember we were like leaving, so my dad actually never saw it. But the thing about like being in an entertainment family, we're already kind of like alluding to that, is I had been smartened up to the point where I knew if they're doing something, like if they're booing you, or if they want Roddy Piper to beat you up that bad, like you are absolutely doing your job. And I knew my brother was like married and had a child, so when these kids would come in and like, hey, it's like say the worst possible things about him, no, he's not that, he's not this, but he's certainly rich because, and I'll never ever forget. So WrestleMania 12 is kind of like, it's a tough thing to watch, but it was the thread of the show, like the OJ chase was the backlot brawl happens, the OJ chase happens, and then like they come to the ring. I mean, they're literally going in during other matches, throwing to the chase scene. And at the time, my brother and dad are in this big strife, and they're not speaking to one another. And I was a little kid and sitting cross-legged in front of the TV. I keep looking back, and I keep waiting for him to say something, to be angry, to be excited. And when Roddy Piper takes that suit off him and he's in the oversized lingerie and it's just ridiculous, I remember looking back and he had the biggest, most genuine smile on his face ever, because it's WrestleMania. That is the end-all, be-all of pro wrestling. So not only were you on it, you were featured, you're with freaking Roddy Piper, and people will always remember that. And I remember my mom like being like, well, and kind of like looking to him, and he was like, no, he was, make no mistake about it, the American Dream was incredibly proud of what Goldust was able to do. And please, if being here tonight, if you tweet anything about this show, please say that I said something nice about Dustin, because my sister is convinced that I never say anything nice about him. And I do. So just say I said something. He's tall. Fuck. Said something nice about him.
Before we move on from Dustin and Goldust, I just need to ask you about a long-standing wrestling rumor. Is it true that...
No.
Moving on. Is it true that your brother suggested or was willing to get breast implants as Goldust?
Honestly, because of the age difference, him being 16 years older than me, we never had these big family sit-downs or like, I don't know. Yeah, let's go with a possibly. So I had mentioned this not long ago. I went to this comedy show it's actually a terrifying situation. It was UCB in LA. If you ever travel to the States, when SummerSlam was regularly out there, they'd always do a wrestling show the night before SummerSlam, like a stand-up wrestling show. about wrestling, and Ziggler was on it. And I like Dolph. We are friends, so I was terrified that he's not going to be funny. And then I'm like, well, you're doing your thing up there, man. Like, what do you say? Like,
Was he funny?
Well, the best part is Dolph ended up not doing a set, which was like the biggest sigh of relief ever. Instead, they did these parodies where he was a judge. And they sit me up front, and I knew something was up. And this guy comes out, and he's got like the oversized lingerie on, just like Dustin, and he's just like sashaying about, and he says, "I'm Goldust, and I'm gonna get heat because I'm gay." And then this plant in the very back stands up. He goes, "Man, it's 2014. We don't care if you're gay." Oh? What if I kiss this guy? Then you're going to boo me, right? All of a sudden, two other guys stand up in the back, kiss each other. "No, man, go ahead. Kiss him." "Oh, no, you don't like it. I know you don't like it." By the end of the set, like, everyone was a plant in the crowd. One guy had thrown like a big rainbow streamer, and like the Goldust character just like receded to the back, like, "Oh, I know it's heat. I know." It's one of my favorite things ever, and it was funny, so I didn't have to worry about old Zig Man there.